dingbats like that hurt good pastors that are just pouring out their life and following the gospel and reaching people. But yeah, can you imagine a church van pulls up? It's got all the church stuff on it, and the guy's gonna go upstairs and sleep with a minor.
Wow.
That's what that's what the sting was, the former sting. So.
Hey friends, welcome to the Victor Marks podcast with Victor Marks, founder of All Things Possible Ministries. Welcome to the show where we bring you real conversations faced with life's hard truths, stories of redemption, and the latest from the front lines. Whether you're on the road, getting your day started, or finally settling in, we've got an exciting new episode planned for you. So let's dive into today's show.
So let's talk about what we did last week.
That was a good week. We first started, it was a 3-part mission in 2 places in the U.S., but Kansas City, where our partner organization, Relentless Pursuit, and if I just encourage folks, those of you who are on social media, go follow them. Relentless Pursuit, it's RPOR14 on Instagram. We've seen their numbers double here because of us helping to get the word out. But an amazing organization that bought a building right on the Strip. It's called The Blade in Kansas City, Missouri, and it is the what I would say the lower end working street gal, and let me just kind of say this: the reality of it. There's a lot less compassion and grace on women who've been stuck in this sex industry by people. And I get it. I mean, because you're like, hey, well, they're choosing every day. They're not, they're not tied up in the back of a van and chained in a basement, which we've gotten people out of those situations, both here and overseas. But like one girl that we, shared about, I call her, the princess warrior. She just won't give up. She's a young gal, but her mom was a prostitute in the same area. So can you imagine as a child being raised in that? You got abused. So there's things broken in her mind and soul. She's addicted. And but she has a place she can come into. Relentless Pursuit has this building right on the Strip, and they walk into it. They can get coffee, take a shower, eat something, hang out on the couch, just sleep, and then there's rack of clothes, and they get dressed. You and I, that's close to our heart because we did something similar, but we would bring girls into our home, or offer them memberships at our martial art and fitness centers. So you got to be called to do stuff like this. And if you're not, but you appreciate it, then you just have to support and pray for organizations that do that. And we support and engage in this work. It's one of the aspects of counter-sex trafficking that we do. And I'll tell you, sometimes it takes a long time to see a girl even risk to have hope for change. But like this one girl, scared to death of dogs. And guess what got her and melted her heart? Is your dog, Reagan.
Reagan, yeah.
And it was a very beautiful thing to see. I put Reagan up next to her, and she was like, ah. And then she started touching, and Reagan put her nose on her. And because our dogs can sense, they're therapy dogs, and that they bite, but they're therapy dogs that bite. So they, because we use them for security. Great working dogs. Thank you, Baden Canine out of Canada for these dogs. But I'll just tell you, it was beautiful when Reagan put her paw on the girl's hand. That's enough to make your eyes leak if you watch the reel that we posted on social media. And the next thing you know, she's petting her, and then I'm holding her hand because touch is important. Appropriate touch, and then it moved to a hug. And someone said this, they go, Victor, I don't think she's ever received a hug from godly man or a man, and she just cried. And remember how she held on so tight?
It's so powerful.
So that was Kansas City there, and we're going to be raising support. We're going to help refurbish second story, 40 beds.
40 beds.
And you went in there and you saw it.
Well, and you know, I was so impressed with Lee because Lee is this tough guy, right?
Oh, he's tough.
He's not someone you would say this guy is going to, create this shelter, safety for these young women. But one thing that struck me is he said these girls that come in, women come in, they take ownership of it. They're protective of it because they know what it stands for.
Yeah.
That to me was so beautiful.
Yeah. No arrest will ever be made there for girls that are struggling. They have to sign in, and it's truly amazing. And we hope to get some of our listeners, followers, supporters, and what we call a short-term mission trip there to go for a few days. Those of you who have a heart for this type of work, but also those of you who have skill sets for remodeling and carpentry. There'll be people who just carry wood, clean up, and then we need skilled carpenters. Because the upstairs, we're going to turn it a 40-bed facility for women to stay a little bit, midterm to longer. Mm-hmm. And it was used before. It was a house of prostitution. Mm. It was a barber shop on the bottom level. And girls used to be upstairs, and guys would just go up there and use them. So now it's being turned for God's glory. But it takes prayer. It takes funding, and we appreciate the support and the work that we do. But that was pretty beautiful. Then we pivoted to do an operation with, we're going to say it, because we're quiet a lot about our work, but yet we share real stories. And I'd always be concerned about organizations or people saying they're doing counter-sex trafficking work or, and they never tell real stories, or they're quiet, or they say, well, we can't, be very careful. There's a lot of organizations, even well-known, that lack major integrity. That's all I'm going to say about that. We don't focus on them. We press toward the mark. We do our mission. We're not going to waste time with just hustlers. But we did an operation with Homeland Security investigation. Homeland Security. It's incredible. You were there.
Yes, it was such an honor to be part of this amazing group.
Yeah.
And Homeland Security, the director, one of them said,
let me clarify.
Yeah.
The office, it was a field office of 4 states, because we there's a lot of things we don't agree with as far as the management.
So
levels.
ATP has been helping find the girls, find the perpetrators,
put together target packages,
right, and present it to them so they can go after them.
Yeah.
And they said they cannot do what they're doing. They are so limited on resources.
Yeah, they're obviously short-staffed. I mean,
Yes.
You'd be surprised on how well funded certain government organizations are, but completely, that's why I'm, this group, man, really incredible leadership there.
So, I mean,
Allowed people praying. I'm sorry, but allowed
Yes.
people praying. I was like, whoa.
right, they allow people to come in during this sting operation to actually pray.
Yeah, very specific.
Yes.
You got to be vetted, it's because it's operational security.
And they allow other organizations, advocacy organizations that come in and actually talk to the young women, give them resources
and hope.
And so the alternative to this is they're arrested, they're brought down to jail, and then the cycle just continues.
So it varies. I mean, we've seen weird stuff where, a pastor pulls up in a church van on a former sting operation at a hotel because he went online, but it was, instead of catch a predator, to catch a pastor.
Wow.
That'd be a new show.
Right. I think there'd be a lineup of
to catch a pastor.
Sadly.
Yeah, it's super sad. Because it hurts. Dingbats like that hurt good pastors that are just pouring out their life in following the gospel and reaching people. But, yeah, can you imagine a church van pulls up? It's got all the church stuff on it, and the guy's going to go upstairs and sleep with a minor.
Wow.
That's what that's what the sting was, the former sting. So, you guys, be encouraged that there are governmental agencies with really great pockets of men and women doing the hard work.
Yes.
There is horrible leadership in most of the appointed positions at the administration level, and we got to pray them out. But you got to vote them out. You got to vote great leaders in that will get rid of this nonsense.
Yes.
And I mean, it's all over the news. The corruption at the FBI. There is systemic corruption, but you can't get rid of the reality of good men and women fighting the good fight.
That's right.
And so we don't give up. We continue to fight.
No, and hey, what if we just said, hey, 87,000 IRS agents, why don't we just take 10,000 of you and spread you across Homeland Security offices across the nation and help them do what they need to do?
Yeah. Well, I would just take
I think
the
that
funding.
would be a simple solution here.
I would just take the funding
Right.
and hire great people. So, you know what? We pivoted from there. So a lot of great things. We got incredible emails from
Yes.
Homeland Security thanking ATP. And our teams are unbelievable.
They are.
Some of the most gifted,
Yes.
skill set people with a great experience. And even on the team, we have one of our team members, she's on staff, was trafficked. And it was a horrible lifestyle for her. Great testimony. But she went from being hunted to now being a hunter. And she's highly respected in these realms because she knows the game. Speaking of game, we pivoted over to Tampa Bay in Florida.
Well, I wanted to say one thing about being invited into this environment.
Yeah.
So, all the analysts are in a room, Homeland Security, they're all working. And what I got to do, which was such an honor for me, is to sit in with the young girls who were brought in and to watch these young women that love these women, that give them resources, and to tell them they're there for them. They don't have to do this by themselves. But one of the things that was so sweet is I brought Reagan in.
Yeah, your dog.
Every time, and the girls, they loved her.
Yeah.
Remember, the one girl just held on to Reagan and started
yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Reagan has no idea how sweet she is, but she's just there
I think she
to
does.
love on them.
Yeah, I think she does because she'll go up to the girls. She knows how to nudge them with her head, her nose, and then
You're right.
snuggle in.
She feels their pain.
Yeah, I think
She
the one
feels
girl
their
who put a
sorrow.
bear hug on her, I saw Reagan kind of look at me at the corner of her eyes like, okay, how long is this going to last? I may need Scout to come in for, tag team. But you guys, it's a beautiful thing to behold, operational wise, what we're doing.
Yeah.
And to see God in the middle of it and working with incredible people in certain agencies.
Yeah.
So we pivoted now to
Okay.
Tampa Bay
Yep.
Skull Games, where you got to go to our website, victormarks.com. It's front page. You'll see our counter-sex trafficking work. You'll see a little tab, Skull Games. Click on it. Unbelievable. It was the best one yet, where we have volunteers and members of our team come from around the country and then even online and hunt for girls that are missing or being trafficked. And because of the weekend, what we call a hunt, we were able to locate about 20 girls. I think it was 20. And then 8 or 9 predators, bad guys, and put together target packages. And law enforcement now can do their job because we prepped it all. And sometimes, again, it's cool when we're able to be on a sting, but we enjoy seeing law enforcement
Yes.
do their job and see what happens. Again, a lot of times we just want to be quiet professionals in the background. or in other countries, we're not so much in the background. It's different environments. But you guys, thank you for your prayers. And yeah, there's more to say. And I'm just going to bring team members on the podcast to explain it. And I know at an open source intelligence conference, the gal that I was talking about, who went from hunted to being the hunter, she gave a speech, and people were sobbing. This is not a Christian conference. These are very intelligent analysts that range all the way up to CIA level, NSA, FBI, to the private sector. And people were sobbing listening to her story. It gets me just thinking about it. And then a standing ovation for 45 seconds. Standing ovation. That's being a light in darkness. That's bringing hope to a hurting world. And we got, coming to Eastern today, about 40 signups.
Wow.
Of people from that group that want to volunteer to help join our hunt and do the work. So it's a pretty big deal.
And I think people are so encouraged to see success stories because we don't see a lot of success. We just hear of the tragedy. But this young gal, Mackenzie, she is proof that, you know what, God can change someone's life. In fact, she ended her speech with, "Don't forget that with God all things are possible." And it's so true. I was so encouraged that she was able to share her story and encourage so many people.
Yeah. So Mackenzie came here to what we call a Samantha weekend, which we're thankful for those of you who help support the ministry that we hold these.
Yeah.
And we're able to fly people like her in, put them up, pay for all expenses, because they don't have the resources. We train them up. Yeah. We see God do great things physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And her story, which was amazing, we prayed for her.
We did.
We saw demonic oppression break in this girl's life, a stronghold gone. She goes back home, and this is the beautiful sanctification process when people trust the Lord. The Holy Spirit really put on her heart, you have warrants out for your arrest. For other things, you need to go face the charges. So she goes. She faces the charges. You got a judge. You got the prosecutor. She tells about this transformation in her life, and that she's been running from these, and she wants to be held fully accountable and do whatever's necessary. This is a woman with a daughter, and they were so blown away. And said, this just doesn't happen like this?
Well, and the judge had so much favor on her.
Oh, my goodness.
She was exonerated from her charges that rightfully she was wrong.
Yeah.
That was one thing that happened.
One thing.
Yes.
Which, again, when you trust the Lord and you obey Him, you only want to do what God puts on your heart. But
yes.
So all the charges dropped, and then boom, boom, boom. Next thing is, it's tragic, but it's, freeing, is her daughter was here on that weekend as well. We prayed for her. I'd posted a picture of me hugging her because, again, I don't know, just something about people who come from very tragic backgrounds. Hugs matter. And it's weird because I'm not a big hugger. Except when it comes time for really
hurting people. Yeah.
And then I think God likes to use my arms to do it. But the daughter let her mom know she got this courage, and she just said, my stepdad has been abusing me sexually, horribly. And when the mom found out Mackenzie, she was just like, oh my gosh. Told us, our team, we did what we do best. And in 4 days, there was a warrant for his arrest. The house was surrounded. And he took his life. Which, personally, I'm okay with, because the girl didn't have to go to trial. She didn't have to give testimony of the wicked things he was doing. They never have to worry about him getting out of prison. He's just done. And now Mackenzie's on staff with us.
Yeah.
And being discipled by Samantha, our beautiful spiritual daughter. We love to bits. And this is we're just trying to share some insight that maybe you wouldn't hear otherwise. But great things are happening, and we are so thankful for all of you that pray and follow us. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite outlets, including pray.com, which we just crossed, bing, 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 160,000 subscribers. And YouTube, we're over 200,000. God just keeps blessing this.
Yeah.
And you know what people always say, you guys are the real deal. It's such a compliment to us. We were stunned for a long time ago. Why are they saying the real deal?
Yeah.
Right? We were
So what does that mean? That most people are not? That some people are not?
I think there are a lot of people in ministry that aren't. Or they get caught up on the machine of things. And there's a fine line between serving the Lord in ministry in the flesh and truly a spirit. So,
Well, for us, Victor, we know where we came from.
yeah.
We know who we are apart from Christ. And we know that unless the Lord is in our lives, everything we do is empty. It's for naught. So,
Have you?
we can be who we are.
Yeah.
We don't have to pretend.
I don't think we have the energy. I don't have the energy
we don't have the energy.
for anything.
No.
Well, thanks you guys for watching. Hey, we want to thank Peaceful Sleep, which is the sleep supplement that we use
Yes, here it is.
for sponsoring this podcast today. This is our little secret of how we sleep.
So what is it? It's a capsule, and it has a variety of ingredients in there.
Yeah.
But it's all designed to give your brain the ability to calm down so you can sleep. It's got like magnesium and calcium, melatonin. It's got GABA. It's got a proprietary blend in there. But we've been taking it for about 1.5 years. And
my
I'll tell
gosh.
you, our sleep is much better.
Oh,
Yes.
I've been sleeping 6.5 to 7.5 hours
Yeah.
pretty consistently. And look, 16 times overseas,
Yeah.
well, just Iraq or Syria. And I have sometimes very eventful dreams.
Yes. Very
Which-
colorful.
Yeah. Which I've come out of bed, full sweat,
Right.
adrenaline pumping,
Yes.
grabbing my weapon, ready to
Yes.
clear the house. And it doesn't happen like that anymore. And I'll just say this to guys or people who've suffered trauma or whatever. It tames my dreams. I still dream because I'm colorful up there.
Yeah.
But boy, it's peaceful. It's not stressful. I mean, how many times would I look at you and just go, sun's going down. I don't want to go to sleep.
Right.
Because it's so stressful. And a lot of people listening know we've had so many success stories.
Yeah.
When we post this stuff on social media,
Hundreds of people
yeah,
order, yes.
but people respond in comments and go, "I'm using this. It works."
Yes. No.
It won't work for everybody.
Right, because some
There's
of
a
the
few it
ingredients
doesn't work for.
it doesn't, and it's a money back guarantee. We do recommend trying at least 7 days. Sometimes it takes up to 14 days for your body to fully be able to absorb it and accept all the ingredients.
What
to give you
about
a good night's sleep.
grogginess?
None. No,
None.
you do not. We've taken those supplements and things that you're
I've
so
taken
groggy.
I've taken prescription
Yes.
drugs. I've taken horse tranquilizers.
Wow.
You've wanted me to at times.
Yes. Here, honey, let me give this to
Yeah,
you.
me 3 days a week, not good. Things start to change. I get elected to Mayorville of craziness.
And the last thing I'll say about this is because sleep is so important, it really does set us up to have a positive day the next day,
Yeah.
mental clarity, energy, focus. But also, if you're trying to take care of your body, to be healthy, to lose weight, sleep is like the foundation that you can't negotiate, you can't fabricate it, you can't counterfeit it. So this is another reason why I love it, is because, we take care of our body, and this just gives us an extra boost and the platform that we need to do that.
It's important to take care of each other's bodies.
Well, and then there's that too. I wasn't going to say that.
Okay, well, that's what I thought when you... Okay.
Did I say that?
Well, go to victormarks.com/marriage course if you want to learn more about that. We have an online course for marriages.
Yes.
Protect, strengthen your marriage.
It all works together.
It all works together. God bless you guys. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do it for the glory of God. Don't get weary in well doing. And don't overload yourself with negative crapola. Can I say crapola?
You can.
Whether TV, we're no wrong podcast. One podcast we really recommend.
It's Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
Yep.
We listen to him daily. We appreciate Charlie and Erica and Turning Point Faith. It's amazing what they're doing. And I always say this: where the church failed in the realm of raising up youth leaders, solid on large scale, Charlie is succeeding with thousands of chapters of teaching about conservative values in high school and on college campuses. But catch the Charlie Kirk podcast. That's something we listen to daily because he disseminates, gets all the stuff that's happening, brings it down to this, and then he's like a chef of the information world. He'll deliver it right to your table through his podcast. Go get it done.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode. We'd love to stay connected with you and invite you to the conversation beyond this podcast. You can check out more of the work we're doing around the world at victormarks.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all linked in the show notes. Be sure to drop us a comment in the review section if today's show has impacted you in any way, or if there's anything you'd like to hear more of. We're always encouraged to hear from you. Thanks for spending your time with us. Until next time.